train super hard day and night to get their dream body, but some become so addicted to winning and looking their best that they're willing to pay any price for it. Here are 10 such people who took bodybuilding way too far. Before we start, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel so you won't miss any of our videos. Let's begin. Number 10. Dean Warmby. A very famous British bodybuilder, Dean Warmby was headstrong about turning his body into an absolute masterpiece. He definitely treated each muscle like a holy scripture that had to be studied thoroughly, but his pursuit to the perfect body had a very tragic end. At the peak of his career, Dean Warmby looked super fit and the best that any bodybuilder could look, but it all came at a heavy price. Warmby was consuming 10,000 calories a day to bulk up and was having approximately 8 cans of energy drinks daily. He was practically living on pizzas, burgers, and sandwiches. Unfortunately, his glory days couldn't last long as Warmby developed various tumors in his liver which were later discovered to be malignant. He developed liver cancer at a very young age due to heavy anabolic steroid usage and an unsupervised diet intake. All this diet and steroid abuse dragged Warmby to his deathbed and he passed away at a young age of 39 in 2015. He looked extremely frail and weak before passing away, and one could never imagine him as the big, buff bodybuilder he once used to be. Number 9. Andreas Munzer. Andreas Munzer was a very well-known professional bodybuilder who hailed from Austria. Being an avid admirer of his very famous fellow countryman Arnold Schwarzenegger, Munzer came into bodybuilding at a very young age. And at that young age, he was ready to do whatever it took to be the best, even if it meant abusing performance-improving drugs. Andre Munzer was known to use an immense range of drugs which included insulin, potassium-sparing drugs, exogenous testosterone, and growth hormones, along with other diuretics to get him in shape for the competitions. Munzer successfully achieved brilliant feats of leanness and muscle definition, but it all came at a very heavy price. To get the perfectly lean body, this Austrian professional bodybuilder sacrificed a lot and was famously known for having 0% body fat. After his last bodybuilding competition, Andreas complained of a severe stomach pain and was quickly rushed to a hospital. The doctors there tried their very best to operate on him to stop a persisting stomach bleeding, but it was too late as both his liver and kidneys had failed by that time. A later autopsy revealed that there were tumors the size of ping pong balls in his liver and his heart had enlarged to twice its size. Since it was too late for anything to be done, Andreas Munzer died at the young age of 31 in 1996. Number 8. Dave Palumbo. Originally a long-distance runner, Dave Palumbo began to lift weights at the age of 22. In the next few years, Palumbo quickly rose to fame as one of the most buff and successful bodybuilders, winning numerous competitions. His weight normally ranged between 200 and 280 pounds in all of these competitions. But fame does not come easy, as this American bodybuilder was found guilty of abusing the human growth hormone, or HGH, and was sentenced to a few months in prison because of it too. But that wasn't the only harmful outcome of drug abuse. Apparently, Palumbo developed a highly enlarged stomach from constant misuse of HGH and insulin. His condition was so severe that a new term called Palumboism was coined to refer to people with flattened arms and a swollen midsection. Dave Palumbo fortunately came to terms with his problematic condition and reformed his life by quitting drug abuse and adopting a healthy lifestyle. He is now a very successful owner of a supplement company called Species Nutrition. Number 7. Mike Matarazzo. Michael Richard Matarazzo, also famously known as Big Guns, was an American IFBB professional bodybuilder. He had an intense passion for bodybuilding and, like the name Big Guns suggests, he had 21-inch arms and 20-inch calves. But these big guns did not come cheap. In order to get bigger by the day, Mike Matarazzo followed a ridiculous diet, which included consuming 5 to 7 pounds of red meat every day and no vegetables at all. He didn't consume any fruits either, as he was afraid of their sugar content. And to add more fuel to the fire, he was also on steroids, growth hormones, and diuretics. Due to his constant drug abuse and insane dietary patterns, he suffered from various heart problems and had an open heart surgery to fix terribly clogged arteries. Once retired, Mike Matarazzo spoke openly about the dangers of abusing steroids and other hormonal drugs, saying he wished he'd gone easy on them, and it all proved to be very true when he died from a heart attack at the age of 48. Number 6. Greg Kovacs. It's not every day that you come across a bodybuilder who weighs around 400 pounds even during off-season. Standing at 6 feet 4 inches, Greg Kovacs was a humongous bodybuilder from Canada who weighed as much as 420 pounds during the off-season. His chest measured at 70 inches and arms were 25 inches, while his quad measurement was a whopping 35 inches. He was also known to be able to bench 700 pounds for 2 reps and could do a leg press of over 2,000 pounds. Such unbelievable muscle definition and amount of muscle mass is not something that could be pulled off by everyone. It's past the limits of an average person, and achieving this shape definitely takes its toll on the human body. Kovacs was found guilty of abusing anabolic steroids and growth hormones. He was also thought to have been blackmailing the owner of a nutritional supplement store. Greg Kovacs, however, met his untimely demise in 2013 due to heart failure. Number 5. Mustafa Ismail. Mustafa Ismail is a world-famous bodybuilder from Egypt who initially started off as a traditional bodybuilder as he worked hard on his entire physique. But slowly, he started to give all his time and devotion to his arms. His hard work paid off, and he made his way to the Guinness Book of World Records for having the biggest arms. His arms are 31 inches in circumference. Ismail primarily accredits his world record-forming arms to good genetics, but it comes as no surprise to us that it's not just due to what his mom and dad and an intense workout routine gave him. Mustafa Ismail has been known to inject synthol, which gave his super buff Popeye-like arms. He was also consuming 7 pounds of protein daily. Ismail has been lucky to have only suffered from a bizarre deformity and not some permanent or serious injury due to his synthol abuse. But if not careful, he could meet the same fate as his fellow bodybuilders. Number 4. Romario dos Santos Alves. Just like Mustafa Ismail, Romario dos Santos Alves was also a huge fan of synthol. He started out as a normal bodybuilder, but soon let his obsession with his favorite cartoon superhero, the Incredible Hulk, take over. When he wasn't satisfied with just lifting weight, he soon turned to a mix of alcohol, oil, and painkillers to enlarge his biceps. He has also been called the Synthol Man for his excessive use of the drug. He soon became an addict, and his addiction nearly cost him his life and both arms. His arms became rock solid due to regularly injecting synthol, and he had to get veterinary syringes as the regular ones wouldn't fill in his arm. His arms then blew up to outrageous proportions, and it was said by doctors that all the muscle in his arm was nothing but rocks of synthol. Talk about being literally built like a rock. Fortunately, the synthol rocks were removed on time, and his arms were saved from being amputated. Number 3. Daniele Seccarecci. Daniele Seccarecci was an Italian bodybuilder who weighed approximately 300 pounds during the in-season. With this weight, he had the privilege of holding the Guinness Book of World Records for the heaviest competitive bodybuilder for the year 2010. His biceps were also measured at 55 centimeters across. But similar to the experience of his fellow bodybuilders, this physique came at a price. Daniele Seccarecci is said to have had a super tough exercise routine accompanied by 6 to 7 separate meals a day. This could not have been possible without a cocktail of dietary supplements, aka steroids and drugs. He also served some time in prison after being accused of illegal steroid marketing. But as his body had already started acting up due to all the drug abuse with effects such as severe water retention, he was allowed to serve the rest of his time at home. There, he died at the age of 33 due to a heart attack. Number 2. Anthony D'Arezzo. This award-winning American bodybuilder looked like $1 million just before his untimely death. But at what cost? Despite having a bachelor's degree in health sciences, Anthony D'Arezzo was willing to do whatever it took to get the best, most buff body out there, which is why he overdosed on steroids and drugs. He was warned by his doctors to limit his steroid usage, but when you're at the top of your game and you have cash rolling in from all places, everything seems harmless. He died in a hotel room a night before a competition, and his autopsy revealed that he had a heart 3 times the size of a normal heart as he was suffering from hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. Number 1. Greg Valentino. Greg Valentino is an American bodybuilder who got his fame from the documentary The Man Whose Arms Exploded. He was also known to be a freak due to his insane body proportions. He had a height of 5'5" and a waist of 27 inches, but his biceps were also measured to be around 27 inches. This body was a result of numerous years of synthol abuse. His arms had swollen up due to all the synthol injected in them, and unlike a few other bodybuilders on synthol, Greg wasn't lucky enough as his arms eventually burst open. Luckily, he survived and is still alive today. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give us a thumbs up if you have enjoyed this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to always be in the loop. We'll see you in the next video.